There are loads more bedtime stories on BBC iPlayer. Just search CBeebies Bedtime Stories.
CBeebies Bedtime Story.
Hello, I'm Richard. When it gets dark on cold winter nights, I always hope for snow. I love snow. I love how it crunches under my feet when I go for a walk, and I love how it twinkles in the moonlight. And when it snows, I always like to get cozy with a blanket and a teddy and snuggle down to read a story. Tonight's bedtime story is all about snow. In fact, it's about a special snowflake and her amazing journey. It's called The Snowflake, and it's by Benji Davies. High in the sky one winter's night, a snowflake was made. She wheeled and skipped and twirled between the clouds. Whee! She squealed. Only soon she began to fall. But I don't want to fall, said the snowflake. You're supposed to fall, said a cloud. That's what snowflakes do. But I don't want to, pleaded the snowflake. Help me, cloud. Stop me from falling. You'll find your way, replied the cloud. Good luck. The snowflake wasn't at all sure. She twisted this way and that way and this way, tumbling as she fell. The snowflake grew dizzy. Far and away, in a town nestled between the hills, a little girl called Noel and her grandpa, Pappy, were walking home. Noel's breath puffed into the cold, crisp air. I wonder if it'll snow tonight, she thought. The snowflake fell over tree-dotted hillsides. She drifted over valleys and streams. She hoped she would soon stop falling when she came upon a place that looked promising. But every time she thought she was about to land, the wind whisked the snowflake onwards. There was nothing she could do. She passed many windows that glowed through the evening light. In one window sat a tree strung with lights, and on top a bright star shimmered. For a moment, the snowflake forgot all about falling. Oh, to be the star on that glistening little tree, she thought. Noel saw that window too. The tree was decorated in every colour, and on top its star shone brightly. Noel wished she had a tree like that. Maybe next year, Pappy said. They passed many more windows with trees in them, each one different, each one beautiful. Then, not far from home, Noel found a branch beside the path. My own little tree, she said. High above, the air grew colder, the sky grew darker, the wind blew harder, and the snowflake rushed along with it. She wondered if she would ever find a place to land. Then, through the wind, she heard laughter. There were more like her, more snowflakes. They danced and swirled in the night air together. They were joined by even more snowflakes that rushed along, in and out and around one another. They were never next to each other for very long, and each snowflake was different. But one way or another, they were all falling, and this made the snowflake feel much better. When Noel arrived home, she set to work. Her mummy took down some old boxes and paper, and together with Pappy, Noel decorated the tree. They used all the different colours, just like the tree in the window. They made some paper snowflakes too. Noel put the tree outside where she could see it. She hoped that its little branches might soon be covered with real snow. But as Noel went up to bed, she felt there was something else missing from her tree. Something important. Only she wasn't quite sure what it was. High above the house, the sky was swirling, drifting, circling, falling. Nearly there, whispered the cloud. When Noel woke the next morning, the world felt different. Everything was brighter, quieter, softer. Then, as she climbed out of bed, she remembered. My little tree, she said. And Noel gasped. For every rooftop, every hillside, and every tree had grown white. One special snowflake had settled on the very top of Noel's little tree. I did it, said the snowflake. I found a way to stop falling. And she felt very proud. Noel danced into the morning light. The snowflake caught the sun brightly and shone like a star. Wow. Even though the snowflake didn't know where she was going at first, in the end, she found her perfect place to shine. She really made Noel's tree sparkle. And did you know that, just like the snowflake, everyone shines in their own way? That means you do too. Whew, now I think it's time for you to go to bed. Excuse me, and maybe there'll be a blanket of snow when you wake up. Good night.
There are loads more bedtime stories on BBC iPlayer. Just search CBeebies Bedtime Stories.